This is the Troll Patrol, live with Justin Freakin.
Welcome to the Troll Patrol, live. It's a freaking Thursday. We are back on Twitch. Soup, I'm so glad to see you. I've been looking for you to be online so I can pop in and say hey. Sparkles, I'm sorry I didn't tell you. Sparkles asked me to illegally obtain a movie for her, and I don't have time to download it before I was going on stream. I'll get it for you. I was thinking about that. It's probably only going to take 20-30 minutes. Mater, good evening. Welcome. I'm faking gay? Well, kinda. But I will get you your movie as soon as I get off here. Might be a short stream, but who knows. The Abigail movie that just came out, I told her it's probably going to be somebody recording it on their phone, but she still wants it. I said she might get lucky and get a screener copy. A lot of other people are in here I need to say hey to. Purgatorus! Anonymously! Welcome! So glad to see you! Clinically, my friend! Warlord! You're not excused, Warlord. Ah. If you guys have not been around since, since a year ago, since I got banned, got all kinds of new graphics, got all kinds of new fun things we could do. Plus, we got all the Twitch stuff back. Quirkata! Good evening! Phoebe! Welcome! I'm so glad to see you guys. It has been a year. I got banned on April the 13th. April the 13th was the date of my ban. I was hoping to be back by the 4th 20th anniversary spectacular. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. Phoebe, 2 years and 3 months. I feel like I've known you for so long. It feels like such a long time, yet such a short time. Venus, God damn it! Warlord already hitting me with a no profanity. I haven't even had a chance to take a bong rip yet. I'm glad everything is still the way it was. Like, it didn't reset anything. I still know how long you guys have been following. Warlord has been around since January 6th. If I remember correctly, it was January 7th you followed Warlord. Is that correct? 2021? That's how long Warlord has been around. Oh shit!
You think we're stupid? You think we're fools?
I didn't reset my drops. I did that last night too. I'm sorry. He is a January 6th escapee. No, it makes sense. It makes sense that Warlord came in on January 6th because Warlord is a master of chaos. Warlord, an agent of chaos. That's the way we should describe him. Agent of chaos that thrives on the misery of others. That's why he was drawn to my show. He eats babies. Sparkles has some very good recipes if you do eat the babies. 5 years, 2 months ago. Wow. Gotta brine them. Oh, shit. Here's your meme of the day. Cops when students are protesting a genocide compared to cops when school shooter. Tell me when I'm telling lies. Oh, hell yeah, come join us on Twitch, Purgatorus. Tadpole! This is one of the things that we're going to be talking about tonight. The crackdown on pro-Palestinian protests across the country have continued, and it seems to just be causing the students to protest even harder. I fucking love it. Good on the kids. However, if you didn't believe we lived in a fascist country, besides the fact that I showed you a journalist getting brutally arrested last night, I'm going to show you protesters at Emory College getting tased, violently arrested earlier today. I think another 100 or something protesters arrested on several campuses across the country. We're going to hear from Piers Morgan had a guest on. Apparently, they are I don't want to say she, I don't want to misgender them. I don't know who they are. They look crazy. They look fucking crazy. Apparently they're a well-known agitator and protester in New York. Piers Morgan had them on to represent the Palestinian side. Now, we'll give them props. They had Hassan on. Hassan made a woman look incredibly stupid on the Piers Morgan show. I already had enough Piers Morgan on the show for tonight because I didn't want to play the Hassan clip, but it's good schadenfreude. I didn't want to make it seem like Piers Morgan only had stupid people on to talk about Palestine. Hassan was probably an excellent representation of the Palestinian cause, so good on him. Later in the show, however, we're going to watch Matt Walsh and Piers Morgan debate the merits of Taylor Swift, apparently. Because what the fuck do those two chuckle fucks have to say about a talented young lady? They are paid to spread lies and propaganda. She actually has a talent that people want to pay for. I'm not the biggest Taylor Swift fan. I have 4 or 5 songs. I really like the I Knew You Were Trouble When You Walked In. I like False God. There's a couple others I like. Karma's a pretty cool song. That's a good one. So like T Swifty is alright with me. Curiouser once in a while. I've got the Eras tour. The video of it. I put it on the other night. Curious was like, "You're gonna watch this?" Like, you said you wanted to watch it. We're both really big on concerts. I'm interested to see what she can do live. I'll give her a chance to impress me. Someone who did not impress anybody was Grimes at Coachella. Speaking of Coachella, Lana Del Rey hit with a fine for apparently going over, which is wild because just a few months ago we did Glastonbury. That was back in the fall, and she was yanked off stage. Do you know comedian Brett Kirschner? I always get his name wrong. I'm sorry. I get everybody's name wrong. I apologize. Brett Kreischer's daughter is apparently woke, and he don't like it, so he bitched to Bill Maher about it. We're going to talk about Trump and his pecker. Oh, I'm sorry, not Trump and his pecker. Trump and David Pecker. And I guess Trump's pecker is involved in it as well. It is what he paid hush money to a porn star. A Minnesota state rep was arrested after allegedly breaking into their stepmother's house. A murderer apparently has already confessed after, that's why I called him a murderer. It'd be alleged murderer if they did. Apparently already confessed in the murder of 2 women in West Virginia. An arrest has been made in the beating death of a trans woman in Florida. A jury is currently deliberating about a cop that killed a man at a traffic stop. I think we watched the video of it. I think he was the one. He was from Australia. If this is the one, if I'm correct on this one, I believe the kid was from Australia, and his car had broke down, and like the cops were really threatening towards him, and it was just a shame. They ended up like getting on his hood and shooting into the windshield. If it's the case I'm thinking of, it might not be. That's the problem with not being a pre-watch Andy. Fox News been playing this video of a teen stealing a woman's purse in Washington State. Meanwhile, over in New York State, Harvey Weinstein's rape conviction was overturned. PBS is going to tell us how that happened. The first ships are leaving the Baltimore port after a bridge collapsed, about 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago. And blood-covered horses ran through London. It's the apocalypse. All that and a lot freaking more tonight on the Troll Patrol, live. DJ Dub, how'd you know I've been playing Far Cry 6? What? I still don't believe I'm on Twitch. Drake, good evening. Dude, how'd you know I've been playing Far Cry 6? What the hell? Oh, it's probably on Discord. Is that it? Is it on Discord when I'm playing it? Okay, that makes sense. Did I cuss? Not on Discord. Well, I'm almost finished with Far Cry 6. Hey, you shut up, Warlord. I don't believe you. I don't believe it. I think I did the entire time. I didn't cuss. Nope. Think I made it. Okay, so I played Far Cry 5. I own 3 and 4. Reset, what? Well, you've got the points. There is actually a reset the clock points thingy. I'm also going to give you, like, I've been trying to think of, like, all the, I thought 3 was considered to be the best. I've got 3 and I've got 4. I don't think Far Cry 2 is available for consoles. Tell you something about Reagan? What, my friend Reagan that does my voiceover for the Friday Night Freak Show? By the way, since we're back on Twitch, let's do a Friday Night Freak Show. So I beat 5. I really enjoyed 5. I'm almost done with 6. Like I've went through it pretty quickly. I've about liberated the whole island. The whole fucking island. I just got to go take out Girancita Esposito. Gus Fring. That's I can't say his real name. Is it okay for me to call him Gus Fring? That's where he made an impression on me. They've gotten more and more silly as they've gone along, I do believe, and that's kind of part of the charm. Some people don't like that. They've been turned off by it. I like games. I like all games. I finished Final Fantasy VII Rebirth but 2 weeks ago. It was the week of WrestleMania. Helldivers 2, I keep my buddy is wanting me to play that with him. Like, it's cross-platform. You can play with us PC people. Okay, now that I'm back on Twitch, I'll get the capture card set up. I never could make it work with my PS5. I could never make it work with my PS5. I could only get the PS4 to work with my capture card. So the only Saints Row I've ever played was 3. GTA, I need to go back and play GTA 4. I own it for the PC. And just because I like, it's one of those that's in PS3 hell. Clinically, what are you playing 76 on PC, because my buddy was like, we need a new game to play, and I'm like, all right, let's play Fallout 76. Everybody raving about the Fallout game. Let's play Fallout 76. Is it cross-platform? Can you invite me? Because I'm on PS5. He'll be on PS4. I've always wanted to play. Okay, you want me to play GTA? Because I can. Because it's on Steam. I can play it on stream if I want to. Well, the only problem with playing things together is I'm on a PS5. So some games are cross-platform and you can hook up. Oh, you're on a PS5? Mod 3 new. What would you like me to do for you? I don't usually take requests, but I'm in a good mood tonight. What the fuck do you want?
Hey Justin, are you trolling?
Oh, I will take any opportunity I can to piss in Dan Crenshaw's open eye hole. Give me that eye pussy. No, I'm not going to open my phone and open notes. Like, what? No, that ain't happening. What the hell kind of request is that? How about this? How about you open your phone and you give me a call and you argue with me about some kind of politics shit? The chat would love it if we got a phone call now that we're back on Twitch. 917-830-4359. We've also got the Discord set up. 917-830-4359. Also on the shout out, Chainsaw my man. I've got a tool that will give you access to some politics. God damn. I don't know what to tell you, my friend. Like, I ain't fucking with my phone on stream. Yes, clinically, it is my penis. That was the tool. Couple more minutes, we'll find out what that news be doing. I'm not high enough for this shit, by the way. I told producer Dave I was coming on last night. Reverse thread! I told producer Dave I was coming on. Unfortunately, I got some cheese curds. They didn't give me any sauce, so I came home, I made my own, like, some people call it fry sauce, burger sauce, Zack sauce, whatever you want. I made my own. I did indeed lie. Those cheese curds, I had a peanut butter and fudge milkshake, smoked a bong or two with Curiouser, and then she left and I passed out. And apparently, like, I woke up to messages from Dave, messages from her. I do encourage you to watch the Colts. Princess Kimberly! So glad to see you. Also, guys, let me know about the emotes. I went with all the troll heads. So if you're a follower, you get all the troll heads. If you're a subscriber, you get like all the other different things like, woo, indeed, reverse thread, thank you for the sub. If you're a subscriber, you get the content warning, the what that news be doing, all the other stuff. Nobody is opening their device on here. I figured you might, but let me know if there's other things you'd like to use in other chats. If you'd like content warning and stuff, like if you want that to be the follower stuff, let me know. I am open. I figured having all the troll heads so you can be angry, sad, high, laughing and stuff. Yes, more weed. I love this. I love that graphic is back. Also, I can't wait for my hair to be back. If any of you have been gone for the last year, I think I was still on Twitch when I shaved my head when Donald Trump got arrested. And that's about where I left you. We did Bald Boy Summer last summer. During our move to Kick, we were on Kick for a year. People seem to like Kick all right, so it's always an option. We did Bald Boy Summer, and then we did Peach Fuzz Fall, and we did Woolly Winter, and I don't even know what the hell to call it now, but I'm getting it back. We've got a little bit of growth here. There's some. It's in a very weird spot. I look weird at the moment. I don't like the length of my hair. And it's going to look weird until it gets down to like my shoulders. So, just have to deal with that. I was on cruise control for far too long. Oh, shit. And that's the thing. Hey, no. I think I was hitting my stride. We were doing the best shows. We were on a roll, and I think like over the last year, like we've been nailing it. I am sorry for you if you missed out on the time that we had over on Kick. No, Mater, no. I kept shaving it through the summer, and I started growing it back September, October, something like that. Calling me a malnourished fuck. I eat a well-balanced nutritional meal. Mod Mithrinu? I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm glad you're here, though. I'm glad you're here, and you can find out what that news be doing. Start off tonight with the big story. Protests have spread on college campuses across the country, as well as a irrational crackdown on those protests.
Campus protests against Israel's war in Gaza are continuing to grow across the U.S. The University of Southern California announced today it's canceling its main commencement ceremony next month. Encampments are now in place in at least 20 colleges, and hundreds of demonstrators have been arrested.
Let's see more.
Several days at multiple schools, including the University of Texas, Ohio State, and Emory University. Amid police confrontations, multiple arrests, and large demonstrations.
What do you mean the hat? Did the beanie not work? Did the beanie time thing? I may not have a thing for it. I'm not on Twitch. Is that the hat you're talking about? You did beanie time? Oh God, I got a cat throwing up over here. You got a hairball, buddy? Oh, I forgot about ad break. Shit, that's something I've got to remember. You didn't do no beanie time. Throw me off. I didn't know why I was talking about a hat. I don't have a hat. I got a beanie. What's more ads? No, I did the whatever, 3 minutes, the minimum. Oh, everybody, okay, beanie time happened. I gotta find it. I threw it last night. I wore it last night. It's over here somewhere. I gotta go find it.
Emory University today became
I'm sorry for falsely accusing you, Mater.
Of pro-Palestinian protests on college campuses. Early this morning at Boston's Emerson University, violence erupted as police cleared a student encampment. More than 100 were arrested. Authorities say 4 officers were injured.
Beanie.
That followed this clash at the University of Southern California. Officers there say protesters refused to remove their encampments. The protesters say they were provoked.
What we just saw was an act of USC acting aggressively and failing to defend, and in fact being the aggressor against its students.
By nightfall, more than 90 people were taken into custody.
Yeah, here's the thing, they're calling it violent protests, but the violence is coming from the police. We've seen very little violence from protesters, and predominantly it's been from Zionists.
These incidents are just the latest in a series of pro-Palestinian demonstrations unfolding on campuses.
Do I need to wait for everybody? Did everybody get an ad? I don't remember how this all works. I'm not even on the creator dashboard. I forgot. Used to, I would take a break while the countdown was going on. So that way, like, everybody, we got the break out of the way, and then, like, I would take a commercial break. You redeemed ad time. I guess I don't have a thing for that. I'm not even on this stream manager. God damn it. Okay. Can I hit? Okay, ads, motherfuckers.
Hi, I'm JustinFREAKIN. I'm a leftist broadcaster and comedian, not liberal, leftist. And despite what you may have heard from right-wing propaganda, George Soros isn't handing out Soros bucks and funding people like me. There are no Koch brothers, Mercers, or any number of right-wing think tanks funding content on the left side of the spectrum the way they fund people like Ben Shapiro, Dave Rubin, and Dennis Prager. And YouTube doesn't monetize videos that are controversial or deal with politics unless you're someone like Steven Crowder. So this is an ultimatum. Become a patron. Support my Patreon, or I'm going to become a right-winger and get some of that easy money. You know for a fact that I could be bigger than Charlie Kirk or Jesse Lee Peterson.
Amazing!
All I have to do is talk about how I used to be an SJW snowflake, but the left went too far with their cultural Marxism, and Republicans are stupid enough to buy it, even though this video exists. And you know I'm right, so give me your money or I'm selling you out.
Hey, Justin, are you trolling?
Forgot to reset my drops again. Still getting used to this. I'm not a professional broadcaster. Not at all. God damn. Like, you guys are going nuts with those points out there. I need to get something on screen for everything. Let me know when everybody's back. The ads should be the smallest amount of ads you can possibly get, and me still get the 55% revenue split. Everybody is back. Dustin! Good evening. All right, I guess we'll just restart the news. The news got very interrupted. I took the opportunity. I even hit one of my own ads. I went and took a piss. Unfortunately, I did not get to piss in Dan Crenshaw's open eye hole. Give me that eye pussy, sir. I've been streaming this whole time. That's the problem. If you guys have been gone for the last year, then you've missed some of the new drops. Here is anytime somebody is in the wrong, they deserve a titty slap.
A titty slap! Give me those titties,
Come on now.
Give me those titties, If one of the big stories you missed out on, if you weren't with us over on Kick, was when Senator Kennedy, old lady Kennedy, read one of the young adult books that the right is currently trying to ban from libraries.
I can't wait to have your cock in my mouth. I'm going to give you the blowjob of your life. Then I want you inside of me.
Oh yeah, if you haven't been with us, I've been incredibly problematic. I mean, insanely problematic. Curiouser keeps accusing me of saying everything is Jewish, and like, I said jewelry, and she thought I said Jewery. And I'm like, why would I say Jewery? It clearly looked like a jewelry store. No, Sparkles. This is everybody like getting all paranoid over here. Now, the other night we had this woman. She was Chinese. Oh, I can't say that here. But like, there is totally a way to use that word that is not offensive, isn't there? Jews be doing Jewery. That's just a thing that happens. Please don't clip that. We did. We did this story the other night. This woman. Oh, I'll have to nuke the VOD. This woman. She murdered one of her family members. Yeah, that's what I thought. Like it's like it doesn't have a negative connotation to the word. So, this woman was Chinese and she committed a murder, and she had been working for the court system as an interpreter. And when they arrested her for murder, she claimed that she couldn't speak English. And then the next story we did, we had a reporter, and she legitimately looked like the woman, I think. Like she learned to speak English real fast. Sounds like she can speak English to me. I'm proud of it. Why am I proud of this? I condemn me.
He condemn.
Was it Perg requested the titty slap video? The twits going the twits. Yeah, Purgator's. Yeah, let's do it. I might still have it saved, to be honest with you. Hold on. I downloaded the video. I mean, that's how I got it for the drop, so. Oh, don't just type titty slap into Google. It will not give you. It will not give you that video.
A titty slap!
What? Yeah, you heard that right. What the hell? Come on now.
That caption said, "Look at those titties, huh?" I don't think that's what she says. It's "Give me those titties, It's not huh, it's
Picture in picture.
A titty slap!
What? Yeah, you heard that right. What the hell? Come on now.
What does that say about you, Thread? This is not the kind of show you watch sober, I don't think. I honestly, guys, I don't understand what is wrong with me, what is wrong with people that this show would appeal to, and that, I'm talking to you guys. I come on here and I deliver like the most gruesome, horrific news, and I make I'm Gidiox. What is up, my friend? I make the most juvenile, pedestrian jokes. Might go to other channels, they just be bitching about how they ain't making enough money and how they don't have enough viewers. Yeah. Don't be an adult. Nobody be an adult. This is I do a show with a troll head. It's bright, but it's hard news with bright multicolored graphics. Where I put a sitting senator in a bondage outfit and have him talk about how much he loves cock.
I can't wait to have your cock in my mouth. I'm going to give you the blowjob of your life. Then I want you inside of me.
I don't even remember what he says. I don't hear the drop, so I don't even remember what he said. You're always hard. God damn it, like this motherfucker, he's 40 years old and he's still like virile as a goddamn 13-year-old. He's over here like woodpecking on trees. He's sticking his dick in the couch. He's sticking his dick in the gas tank of his truck. He is always hard. It's insane. Do possums fuck like rabbits? That's a fitting name. Battle Opossum is a fitting name for that little motherfucker. I'm not high enough for this shit. I condemn all y'all.
He condemn.
He's over here slamming it in the fridge door. I'll call him. He'd be like, I was jacking off. I'm horrible.
He's kicking authority in the balls.
I'm so glad to be on back on Twitch for the election. We got election coming up. I have an OnlyFans account. I am JustinFREAKIN on OnlyFans. Now, I looked into it. I can't put violent content on OnlyFans. Because that was one of the things. And, like, I need to master text. Text. I'm glad to have you here. I've looked into places where we can do like a more unfiltered show. And it just don't really exist. You know, other than like putting shit on Rumble. And even Rumble, you can get banned from Rumble. So short of hosting my own content, I don't know. Cause I was gonna do like a. So while I was banned, Twitch changed the rules to where you couldn't simulcast, but they've changed them back now. So like we're on YouTube and Twitch, and I don't think I'm violating or. You seen my dick? When have you seen my dick? Now I'm worried. I don't know what's going on. I don't know when he would have seen my dick. Unless he was like spying on me. Oh, on OnlyFans. Well, I'm sure there's dick pics floating around out there. I mean, people ask for a dick pic. If you ask to see my dick on Grindr, I'll show it to you. And I do, like, I appreciate it. Damn it. We have a dick pic channel in Discord, but it's not used for that, I don't think. Hey, wait a minute. We got news to be doing. Like, everything got thrown off by the Oh. Apparently I brought a laptop to his house and I was showing pics to him and his wife. And oops, there's my dick. I wouldn't have done it on purpose because I wouldn't want him to see my dick. Not that I'm not proud of it or anything. It's not an overly large dick, but it is a very pretty dick. I have a pretty dick. I got Bill balls, that's for sure. Balls so big I can piss in Dan Crenshaw's eye pussy at any time. I do not. Okay, other than the fact that I used to play porn when he'd bring his, at the time, like his fiance or maybe even his girlfriend at the time. He would bring her over to my apartment and I had like a fixed satellite box. That's how long ago this was. This is 20 fucking years ago. And I had a fixed satellite box. And I just put it on the porn channel just cause like, ha ha ha. You know, cause she was kind of, it felt like she's a little bit of a goody-goody. You've been hearing about my dick for 2 years, 3 months, 17 days, and 17 hours. Minty, good evening. Diox, I have no idea what you're talking about. You haven't even been speaking our language. Apparently she's just. Oh, is she watching the show? I've even got your lovely bride watching the show. I am my sincerest apologies for not actually giving people the news like I usually do. It's the chat's fault. Miss Opossum. Oh, would she get mad if you called her Miss Opossum? Or would she Jidiox. Am I saying that correctly? I'm glad you asked that question. I would love to take the opportunity to answer that question. My political ideology is whatever group gets me closer to pissing in Dan Crenshaw's eye pussy. This is Representative Dan Crenshaw of Texas. He is a Republican. He is a gigantic piece of shit. He made a comedian apologize for making fun of him. Ever since then, I wanted to piss in his open eye hole. It's like the only thing motivating me. If I thought being a libertarian would get me closer to pissing in Dan Crenshaw's open eye hole, I'd go down there and sign up to be a libertarian. If I thought being a Republican, if I thought members of the Republican caucus, maybe there's some kinky sex thing that they do when they're having their Coke parties, and that like they might actually hold Dan Crenshaw down because they get a fucking hard on over it, then I would be a Republican, hardcore. I would be absolutely pro-life. Fuck you, wokies. You can take your woke elsewhere. We'll go full-on Patriot Patrol. If I thought the Republicans would hold down Dan Crenshaw, and I think they might actually. I'm starting to lean. I'm a radical tinklist. I'm starting to lean to the side that the Republicans might actually hate Dan Crenshaw enough to hold him down at one of their Coke parties with their old wieners out and let me piss in his open eye hole. And I'd totally be into it. So I might have just talked myself into turning right. That might be my actual right turn. Unless I start getting that Coke money, I'm leftist. A lot of people were here the night that I tried to get Jake Jacobs to hire me for. He got an infusion of cash from some fucking billionaire investor in that Felix Philo TV or some shit. And I was like, I will sell out right now. fuck, Joe Biden's doing a horrible job on the border. he's letting all these illegal immigrants. I did the whole thing. I did a complete about face. The Austrian theory of economy. That's the Marxist school, isn't it? That's what made the Nazis mad, if I'm not mistaken. I might be wrong, because I don't know fucking economics. Oh, that's where the free market capitalists came from? I thought that was the Chicago school and the Australian school. I thought the Austrian school was the ones that pissed off the Nazis. Fuck, we'll find out. Let's do it. The Austrian school is heterodox school of economic thought that advocates strict adherence to methodological individualism, okay? Perhaps I was totally wrong. The concept that social phenomena result primarily from the motivations and actions of individuals and their self-interest. I can go ahead and tell you that is absolute bullshit. Cicero, good evening! I have been off since April 13th. We've been chugging right along on YouTube and Kick. But I'm glad to be back over here on the Twitch. I am a collectivist, my friend. Every part of society requires collective action. I am very much thank you, Thread. I had to go back to buying what the fuck are you talking about, Battle Opossum? It does kind of sound a lot like anarcho-capitalism. I would assume. Oh, I haven't hit the bong yet. Sorry. Let's talk about the serious news. Protests have spread across the country.
Campus protests against Israel's war in Gaza are continuing to grow across the U.S. The University of Southern California announced today it's canceling its main commencement ceremony next month. Encampments are now in place in at least 20 colleges, and hundreds of demonstrators have been arrested in the last several days at multiple schools, including the University of Texas, Ohio State, and Emory University.
Amid police confrontations, multiple arrests, and large demonstrations, Emory University today became the latest flashpoint in a wave of pro-Palestinian protests on college campuses. Early this morning at Boston's Emerson University, violence erupted as police cleared a student encampment. More than 100 were arrested. Authorities say 4 officers were injured. That followed this clash at the University of Southern California. Officers there say protesters refused to remove their encampments. The protesters say they were provoked.
What we just saw was an act of USC acting aggressively and failing to defend, and in fact being the aggressor against its students.
By nightfall, more than 90 people were taken into custody. These incidents are just the latest in a series of pro-Palestinian demonstrations unfolding on campuses from coast to coast and beyond, including universities in Paris, Cairo, and Sydney. Some in the U.S. say they want their universities to cut financial ties with Israel.
We want the university to disclose its financial holdings and divest from its relationships with financial institutions. And we want the university to recognize and acknowledge to its student body that there is a genocide happening to our families in Gaza.
Officials at Columbia University yesterday extended talks with demonstrators to clear the campus. where that same afternoon, House Speaker Mike Johnson was booed after his remarks.
The cherished traditions of this university are being overtaken right now by...
They chanted, "You suck, Mike."
They place a target on the back of the
Escaroso.
United States and here on this campus.
Jewish students across the country have said they feel unsafe amid the demonstrations and after being targeted by hate speech and anti-Semitic symbols. But some are taking part in the protests, which continue to spread to more campuses and show no signs of ending soon.
PBS kind of made it seem like just some Jewish students were taking part in the protests. I know a large section of the protests. I wouldn't say, it's most of it, but a large chunk is Jewish students. Jewish Voice for Peace has been incredibly active in protests against Israel's genocide in Gaza. That's what I think about religion. Nathan!
Protests have also reached Vanderbilt University in Nashville, Tennessee, where dozens of students have faced suspension, expulsion, and even arrest for their participation in recent protests on campus. Joining us now is Vanderbilt University Chancellor Daniel Diermeier to discuss his school's approach, which he outlined in a recent Wall Street Journal op-ed. Chancellor, welcome to the NewsHour. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So before we get into your school's specific experience, I just want to get your reaction to how quickly and how widely these protests have spread across campus.
Yeah, I think what we've seen in the last week or two is certainly that these issues and the protests have intensified, but really we have had them for the last 6 months or so.
And Vanderbilt has been among those that's seen its own protests. As we mentioned, there was a late March incident. Some 27 students or so forced their way into a closed administration.
It said he was the chancellor of Vanderbilt University, but it sounded like he was like the chancellor of like the fucking Third Reich in Germany. Like, what the hell? I was like, was that racist of me?
Building. I understand
because of his accent.
Officer was injured during that incident. Most of the students had to be escorted out. 4 were arrested, is my understanding. Help us understand the line for you. Why were those students arrested and some expelled?
Absolutely. So overall, over the last 6 months, things on campus have gone very well. Our students have done great. They had vigils. They had in-depth discussions. We've had a Passover celebration just like a few days ago with 400 students on our main lawn. And then some students have protested as well on both sides. We've had displays of like the victims.
It does indeed get it.
Of the hostages. So all of that has gone very well. But about a month ago, we had a small group of students that forced their way into a closed building. This is our main administration building, and we're still doing some construction. They ran over a security officer. They then tried to get into my office. They tried to push over some of my staff there, but didn't succeed. Then sat down in the hallway. And then after a few hours, we told them that this is inconsistent with university policy, that this is disruptive conduct. We then had 3 of the students arrested that had pushed over the police officer. We had 1 student arrested who had smashed over a window, and then the other students left on their own accord and were subject to student discipline subsequently.
So the line for you was the physical violence part of it. Had the building been open, you're fine with students entering and sitting in protest, in other words?
Well, the issue for us is whether you're disrupting university operations. Now, certainly, when you are forcing your way into a closed building, closed for construction, and you're injuring a public safety officer, that line has been crossed. The critical question for us is always, are you protesting and making your voices heard, or are you engaging in disruptive conduct? That can have many different forms. For example, we would not allow them to enter a classroom with a megaphone and disrupt the class, for example. So it can come in many different forms. This was certainly across the line.
You said in your op-ed that free speech is alive and well at Vanderbilt, but there was an open letter by several members of your faculty that disputes that. They say the administration has been excessive and punitive in its response to student protests. They say the rules seem arbitrary, and they say the criterion that protests must not disrupt university operations, as you say, is perniciously vague and expansive. What do you say to that?
Well, I think that this particular issue has absolutely nothing to do with free speech. As I mentioned before, There have
Really?
been expressions of student protest on campus. The issue for us is, in this particular case, was that the people forced their way into a construction
No, the issue is that you don't like the particular speech that is being spoken.
building and injured a police officer. I don't think anybody should confuse this with free speech.
But if I may, this line that you draw, that it shouldn't disrupt, protests shouldn't disrupt university operations. Your opposition here says that that's actually too vague and too expansive. Many would say the purpose of protests is to disrupt.
I think the purpose of protest is to make your voices heard. I don't think the purpose of protest is to, injure members of the staff or to disrupt classes.
One of the things the students were asking for was
to disrupt classes. I should not make fun of his accent.
asking for the university to divest itself.
I got a redneck accent.
Ties to Israel. My
Appalachia.
understanding is you did not allow that vote, that referendum, to
I make fun of that too.
lead students to say that their free speech is being violated. So why not allow them to discuss that and hold that vote?
The university has three principles. One is free speech. One is what we call institutional neutrality, which means that the university will not take policy positions unless they directly and materially affect the operations of the universities. For example, not on foreign policy issues.
But, like, do you, say, have a vendor that sources their materials from Israel? Possibly from an occupied territory. No, I'm not going to make fun of foreigners. Not just because foreigners are awesome. Foreigners. That word in and of itself is horrible. Fuck you, Battle Opossum.
And the third is civil discourse, which means that we treat each other with respect, we listen to each other, and when our students come on campus, they sign a community creed where they affirm their commitment to the last value.
You're going to turn into a bat and fly away.
Students then wanted to have a referendum to use
accents are fun.
Funds to basically boycott any firms that had connection with Israel. That in Tennessee is against the law. Even the vote itself would have...
No, I'll fight you over the band Foreigner. It feels like the first time. It feels like the very first time. Gonna be a jukebox hero. Cold as ice. Fucking love Foreigner, son. Why you want to make fun of the band Foreigner? Joey, good evening. I would climb any mountain. Urgent, urgent, emergency. Urgent, urgent. 80s hair metal is the type of band that Foreigner is. Oh, so get this. I was listening to the Jim Cornette podcast the other day, and I was like, damn it, Jim has got to stop singing so much. And then I remembered I sing a lot on stream, and I'm really bad at it just like he is. So I got no room to criticize. Last night we played a video of a journalist in Austin getting arrested. We saw the cops throw him to the ground. Free speech advocates are all up in arms, as they should be. Just a dirty white boy.
Has this ever happened? No, this never happened to me.
What is Oreo Speedwagon had Hold On Loosely? That's an alright song. I don't think that, did they have any other songs? I don't remember. I do not know. Do you have a interesting story, Nathan? Do we need to look that up? So I always hated that song. Like at the time. Well, I can't fight this feeling anymore. That was REO Speedwagon. Oh, what? Rock on to your dead mother. That sounds horrible. Hold On Loosely was 38 Special. I don't even know any REO Speedwagon song then. Don't get me off topic on music. Who's your favorite band, Nathan? REO Speedwagon? 38 Special. Take It on the Run's a good song. I'm more of a I'm a prog rocker, right? So I like a lot of I like Yes, and I like Peter Gabriel. I like a lot of Supertramp. Oh yeah, back on Chumbawamba. Sparkles banned you for get me started on Maynard. Oh shit. Yeah, don't get me started. I will tell you about going to Maynard's 60th birthday concert a couple weeks ago. That was amazing! God, you guys gotta get me off topic on music. Don't get me started on rap music. I think I upset a friend I've been talking to. I think she really likes Eminem, and I was like doing material on Eminem. Cause Eminem's alright, but I don't think he's not like a goat like people make him out to be. Like, I love Kendrick Lamar, I love Run the Jewels, Ice Cube. I like Outkast, especially Big Boy. I love prog rock. Beat and bass? See, you guys give me... Well, I'm going to have to do a music stream. We'll do a music stream here very soon. We'll do a freak show tomorrow night. Do a music stream. We'll play music. We'll take requests. Just like old times. we gotta get back to the... we gotta get back to that news.
You know what I mean? I was just covering things. And
did you tell him you were the press?
Yeah, I told him that I was the press.
He had a camera in his hand. Did you tell him you're the press? He had a gigantic news camera in his hand.
Someone says I was hitting an officer. I was not hitting nobody. You know?
That Austin photojournalist among those arrested amid protests at UT yesterday. The photographer worked with Fox 7, and our crew spoke with him while he was being detained, along with his gear. He has been released from the Travis County Jail, as our crews captured this morning. But after video showing his arrest made its way online, the Society of Professional Journalists posted a statement calling it a violation of the First Amendment.
Show his arrest.
Sat down with the president of the organization, who's now...
Show the footage.
The video of the Fox 7 photojournalist being arrested has been shared thousands of times online. The station says he was charged with criminal trespassing. What's your reaction to what happened?
My reaction is, upon seeing the video, I think the first thing that came to mind was this is a journalist who has First Amendment protections to be able to observe this very highly publicized news story that's really unfolding across the country at college campuses. It is
okay. That's infuriating because, if you did not see the footage, they showed it from this angle. That's not the why are they refusing to show the footage that we watched last night? He goes off camera for just a second, but it quickly goes back to him, and it is from an angle where you see everything clearly. Why is the news afraid to show the real news? You can see him right there. That's the camera he has on his shoulder. Gonna go off screen for a second here. Boom, they pull him back, slam him to the ground.
Holy shit! Holy shit! Move back! 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 Move back!
I think they are derelict in their duty as journalists that they did not show you this specific footage. Clearly excessive force. But they show it to you from this angle where you don't really see what happened to him. I would guarantee, like, they don't want to rock the boat. They don't want to upset their contacts at the police station.
Mind was, this is...
That's it, access, DJ Dub.
First Amendment protections to be able to observe this very highly publicized news story that's really unfolding across the country at college campuses. It is the right of every journalist to be able to be that first draft of history and inform the public about what's happening, and also to hold the powerful account. You know, journalists have to be in place to be able to observe what law enforcement is doing so that we can report out and hold that particular group accountable for their actions and everything that they do. So my first reaction to seeing that is, this is a First Amendment violation.
Absolutely.
And we cannot stand by and allow this to happen. And that's the reason why SPJ and myself will continue to speak up when we see these incidents that are against the First Amendment protections of journalists.
You have sue with Texas DPS Director Stephen McCraw. What would you want to say to him?
I think one of the questions that I would want to ask is, you know, how his particular area views the First Amendment rights of journalists. You know, does he feel like his law enforcement officers have the right to be able to prevent journalists from doing their First Amendment jobs? And I would say the answer is no. That should never happen. And, you know, in the state of California, we found that that was happening often. And we pulled together a coalition to be able to push forth a bill, SB 98, into law that would help protect journalists in this very situation.
Can you tell me more about that law, what it does for protection for journalists, and if you think that's something that Texas should adopt here?
So on the law books in the state of California, prior to about 2 or 3 years ago, we had protections for journalists who were covering acts of natural disasters, right? They could stay in place at their own peril to cover the stories so that the public could be informed. All SB 98 did was increase that particular protection to journalists who were covering instances of civil unrest. So if there was a disbursement call that was pushed out by law enforcement, journalists would be able to stay in place, cover the story, get the information out to the public without the fear of
literally the troll patrol
arrested by police. Because we were seeing that more and more right around the protests that happened when George Floyd was killed, and also the court case that happened in relation to that. We were concerned that this was going to be something that would continue to plague journalists as they were just trying to be on the ground covering the story so that the public can remain informed. And so we were very successful in making sure that that would happen. And I would say it's a template for what states should really adopt throughout the country. And many states do have similar laws on the books, but I think it's high time that maybe even a federal law that looks similar to that is in place to protect journalists, to ensure that the public can remain informed. Because without an informed public, our very democracy is at stake.
Ashanti Blaze Hopkins with the Society of Professional Journalists.
Oh yeah, Ashanti Blaze Hopkins. I do have a diverse musical taste. A lot of people say they listen to everything. They're full of shit. I made a run for somebody the other day, and when I came, like his girlfriend stayed here. He ran me over to the Dube, and when we came back, like it's just like 5 minutes down the road. When we came back, Fela Kuti was playing. And I'm like, oh my God, that's probably been playing the entire time. You'd be like, African drum and bass from the 70s. It's probably been playing the entire time that we've been gone. It's like, I'm so sorry. Like, I have a playlist that is like songs people will recognize. So Curious or Sparkles would come over, they would get on to me because my playlist, I usually haven't heard most of the songs. Like, I'll go to different Spotify playlists and I'll just grab a bunch of shit I've never heard before. I'll put it in my liked music, and then I'll take it out as I don't like it. You know, and I'll go to like all the different artists that are offshoots of artists that I like, and I'll just grab music. So that's but like Sparkles, Curious are like, they want to hear shit that's like familiar to them. You know, songs they've heard before. So I had to make a big playlist of, you know, just all the stuff that I really like that other people have heard of. Yeah, Sparkles wants to have a sing-along. So it's hard for her to have a sing-along if I'm playing some obscure artist she's never heard before. But you gotta admit, no, I'm not like a metal dude, right? So at my college, there was the broadcasting department and then there was the digital media department. And for some reason, all the digital media nerds really liked metal. And I found this out because there was a girl that I was kind of flirting around with. I think I got one of them to buy me weed one time. And they two or three, four of them came over to my apartment. We're sitting around. And this dude's like going into all these different like subgenres of metal. That there's pirate metal and death metal and blah blah. And I am like, the fuck are you talking about, dude? I'm amazed it was just a couple of songs, motherfucker. You did mushrooms and fucking listen to music with me. I can't believe there wasn't like fucking 50. And I've got like specific moods, right? I might have hooked up with a lady the other night, and she paused. It was like, great taste in music. Like it's my sexy funky time fuck jams playlist. Every song is perfect for fucking to. I highly recommend it. If you're on Spotify, here, I'll give it to you. Go fuck to my playlist. Go fuck to my fucking playlist. And tell me it is not the best fucking playlist. The best fucking playlist. If I share this. It is not Barry. You know, I probably need a Barry White. I do believe Typo and Pussifer do make an appearance, but there's only like one or two songs from each of them. It's a lot of Massive Attack, Portishead, Mike Patton's band, Lovage. It's groovy shit. Sexy time, funky fuck jams. Please try out my playlist, Sexy Time, Funky Fuck Jams. Yeah, there's the Pussifer, Lovage, Handsome Boy Modeling School, Typo Negative, Glass Animals, The Weeknd, Kendrick Lamar, The XX. Oh, fuck yeah, Rihanna's Russian Roulette. Perfect to fuck to. Fantastic playlist. Get your groove on too. Tool is good for masturbating. Or like, okay, you do enough Molly and you'll listen to some You do enough Molly and have sex with people, you'll be listening to some Portishead. People are not allowed in here under 18. This is not a. There should be a content warning on the stream. This is not the show for the youngins. Let's get. We've still got to cover this Palestinian conflict. Piers Morgan had a constant content warning. It should just be up the whole show. You need a content. She's got her tits out. You need a content warning for this. She's got her tits out.
Fucking Morgan. You're asking too
Just for the
many
record,
questions.
my name is actually just Piers Morgan.
What's wrong with saying free Palestine? Piers, can you say free Palestine for me?
I think.
Piers, can you say free Palestine for me?
If you stop shouting, yeah.
I want you to say it.
Yes, I'm happy to say.
Okay,
yeah.
I'm not going to shout.
If you just,
Mr. Piers Morgan,
if you just
please
keep
say
quiet,
free
I can answer your
Palestine.
question. Yes, I'm very happy to say that.
I mean, her tits are out, but I mean, I'm watching it on YouTube, I think. Maybe I should have the content warning up the whole time. We'll just pause it right there.
Quiet, Piers.
Sorry, you're still talking.
I'm never quiet.
Okay, but try.
I'm never
Otherwise,
quiet,
I can't.
Piers. I cannot
You asked me
shut
to
up.
do something. If you don't shut up, I can't give you the answer.
Oh my God.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, I'll shut up for you.
I absolutely believe that Palestine should be free. Yes.
Oh, okay. And how are we going to do that, Piers? Give us the answers, Piers Morgan. Give us the fucking answers.
Yeah,
how are we going to make Palestine free?
Yeah, if it was as simple
How
as
are we
me,
going to do it?
If it was as simple as me just giving a simple answer now, it would have been done by now. It's a very complicated issue. But let me ask you again. Let me ask you again, seriously, why did you do what you did to Alec Baldwin? And what did you...
Wait, what did you do to Alec Baldwin? What? And I probably... Curiouser brought up Alec Baldwin when we came back from Cookout last night. And I went on a whole rant, like, whatever happened to Alec Baldwin, like, he deserved it. Fuck Alec Baldwin.
Hope to achieve.
Alec Baldwin, look at me. Pierce, honestly. Pierce, look at my body. Look at this. Look at me. Pierce, I was maimed by a white man.
Listen,
But
I understand you're a performative artist. I understand you're trying to make everybody laugh. You've made your joke about your terrible
To be a
maiming.
satellite, you're lashing me.
Right, okay, I'm not lashing
I
you.
was beaten. This is the third. This
wanna-
is the third white man to beat me this week.
Right.
My white boyfriend beat the shit out of me. This is the third white man. Monday was Alec. The second day was another white man. Third day, Piers Morgan is beating me up on international TV.
I mean, I understand why Piers Morgan did it, but it's also journalistic malpractice. As I said, I can get rid of the content warning now. I don't want to say that, like, that was the only voice he had representing Palestine, because Hassan went on and did a really good job. So Piers Morgan has had, I think Chank went on there, and Chank is probably pretty good on this issue. I don't know. I would assume. He's, one of the Baldwin boys. I saw a saying the other day, and it's so cheesy, but it is stuck with me. And that saying was, if your Naomi is Klein, you're doing just fine. If your Naomi is Wolf, that's a big oof. What a transition.
As many as 300 protesters were arrested in Brooklyn on Tuesday night, where thousands of mostly Jewish New Yorkers gathered for a Seder in the streets to stop arming Israel, they said. This on the second night of Passover. The demonstration was held at Grand Army Plaza, 1 block away from the home of Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer. It came just hours before the Senate overwhelmingly approved a $95 billion foreign aid package that includes some $14 billion in arms and security funding to Israel. A series of speakers addressed the rally, including journalist and author Naomi Klein, Palestinian activist Linda Sarsour, and several Jewish students suspended from Columbia University, where students have held a solidarity encampment. These are some of the voices of the demonstrators yesterday, speaking at the Seder in the streets.
Tonight's Seder in the streets, which will be happening on the second night of Passover, which is a holiday we observe every year that is all about liberation and how our liberations are intertwined with one another, is coming just hours ahead of a likely Senate vote on $14 billion in military funding and weapons to Israel. So we're here to tell Senator Schumer that this is enough and we need to end U.S. complicity in Israel's genocide against Palestinians. And at the core of the Passover story is that we cannot be free until all people are free. And right now, what we're seeing is that the Israeli government and the United States government are carrying out a genocide of Palestinians in Gaza, over 34,000 people killed in 6 months.
The beanie is too hot.
In the name of Jewish safety, in the false name of Jewish freedom.
Jews get arrested alongside Jewish elders, saying not in our name, as we have been for 6 months. And the Senate is still about to pass this massive funding package.
Happy Passover, free Palestine.
Such a drastic change in tone from the coverage on Democracy Now! As opposed to your corporate media.
And now we're hundreds in the streets. People are taking arrests, saying business as usual will not go on. We are here at the doorstep of Senator
Love her flower.
Schumer. To the people in Palestine, we love you. We are with you. We are going to stop this U.S. funding so that you can fight for your own liberation.
If you do not move, you will be arrested.
Some of the voices at the Seder in the streets to stop arming Israel that was held at Grand Army Plaza on Tuesday in the second night of Passover. Among those who addressed the crowd during the Seder was award-winning author and activist Naomi Klein. This is some of what she had to say.
My friends, I've been thinking about Moses and his rage when he came down from the mount to find the Israelites worshiping a golden calf. The ecofeminist in me has always been uneasy about this story. What kind of God is jealous of animals? What kind of God wants to hoard all the sacredness of the earth for himself? But there is, of course, a less literal way of understanding this story. It is a lesson about false idols, about the human tendency to worship the profane and shiny, to look to the small and material rather than the large and transcendent. What I want to say to you this evening at this revolutionary and historic Seder in the streets is that too many of our people are worshiping a false idol once again. Yes. They are enraptured by it, they are drunk on it, they are profaned by it, and that false idol is called Zionism. It is a false idol that takes our most profound biblical stories of justice and emancipation from slavery, the story of Passover itself, and turns them into brutalist weapons of colonial land theft, roadmaps for ethnic cleansing and genocide. It is a false idol that has taken the transcendent idea of the promised land, a metaphor for human liberation that has traveled across faiths to every corner of this globe and dared to turn it into a deed of sale for a militarist ethno-state. Political Zionism's version of liberation is itself profane. From the start, it required the mass expulsion of Palestinians from their homes and ancestral lands in the Nakba. From the start, it has been at war with collective dreams of liberation. At a Seder, it is worth remembering that this includes the dreams of liberation and self-determination of the Egyptian people. This false idol of Zionism has long equated Israeli safety with Egyptian dictatorship and unfreedom and client state. From the start, it has produced an ugly kind of freedom that saw Palestinian children not as human beings, but as demographic threats. Much as the Pharaoh in the book of Exodus feared the growing population of Israelites and thus ordered the death of their sons. And as we know, Moses was saved from that by being put in a basket and adopted by an Egyptian woman. Zionism has brought us to our present moment of cataclysm, and it is time that we say clearly, it has always been leading us here. It is a false idol that has led far too many of our own people down a deeply immoral path that now has them justifying the shredding.
Hey, Gidiox, are you aware that you are listening to Jewish people tell you what's going on? You're listening to a crowd of Jewish people tell you that they do not like what is going on in their name. And then you're kind of coming to weird conclusions. And it's a little absurd, my friend.
Of core commandments. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not covet. The commandments.
They are literally celebrating Seder right there. They are celebrating a Jewish holiday. You are watching it with your own eyes at the moment. They're having Seder on Passover. They're celebrating a Jewish holiday.
Brought down from the mount.
Curiouser.
It is a false idol that equates Jewish freedom with cluster bombs that kill and maim Palestinian children. Zionism is a false idol that has betrayed every Jewish value, including the value that we place.
Fair enough, clinically.
A practice embedded in the Seder itself with its 4 questions asked by the youngest child. It also betrays the love that we have as a people for text and for education. Today, this false idol dares to justify the...
Venus, what do you call a bear without ears? This is a Maynard joke from the concert the other night.
Bombing of
you heard that one before, eh?
University in Gaza, the destruction of countless schools, of archives, of printing presses, the killing of hundreds of academics, scholars, journalists, poets, essayists. This is what Palestinians call scholasticide, the killing of the infrastructure and the means of education. Meanwhile, in this city, the universities call the NYPD and barricade themselves against the grave threat posed by their own students, asking them, students embodying the spirit of the Seder, asking the most basic question, asking questions like, how can you claim to believe in anything at all, least of all us, while you enable, invest in, and collaborate with this genocide?
That's right.
The false idol of Zionism has been allowed to grow unchecked for far.
I don't ban them.
So tonight
They haven't been abusive.
it ends here. Our Judaism cannot be contained by an ethno-state, for our Judaism is internationalist by its very nature. Our Judaism cannot be protected by the rampaging military of that ethno-state, for all that military does is sow sorrow and reap hatred, including hatred against us as Jews.
Exactly.
Our Judaism is not threatened by people raising their voices in solidarity with Palestine across lines of race, ethnicity, physical ability, gender identity, and generations. Our Judaism is one of those voices and knows that in this chorus lies both our safety and our collective liberation. Our Judaism is the Judaism of the Passover Seder, the gathering in ceremony to share food and wine with loved ones and strangers alike. This ritual, light enough to carry on our backs, in need of nothing but one another. We don't need walls, we need no temple, no rabbi, and there is a role for everyone, including, especially, the smallest child. The Seder is portable, a diaspora technology, if ever there was one.
A diaspora technology. That's a wild way to describe it. She did a fantastic job. Enjoy clinically. When it comes to bans, as long as nobody's being abusive, not throwing out slurs, that'll... Mainly what I want you guys to look for is things that could get me banned. Other than that, like, you know, as long as they're not, like, being overtly transphobic, if it seems like it could be, you know, out of ignorance and that we might be able to change them, absolutely leave them alone. Let me try to work on them. But if they're just a gadfly and they're here to cause trouble, then you can toss them. Unless it's fun troll, because you know, it is the Troll Patrol. The actual premise of the show originally was a Facebook show where I would live troll people in comment sections on local news articles. And that's why the original Troll Patrol looked like a Facebook page. It like covered up my actual Facebook page. Then I kept getting banned on Facebook, so I just started reading people the news. Oh, goddamn. We're way behind. Sorry, Curiouser. We're not to the fun stuff. Please stick around because we're gonna talk about Coachella and Lana Del Rey getting fined. Brett Kushner's daughter is apparently woke. That's the fun part of the show. It's still to come. You've still also got like horrific news. We got some murders. We got some cop death to talk about. So we're getting ready to get into that legal portion of the show. We're going to start with the very tip top of the legal ladder. And check under your seat for a surprise. Was Donald Trump surprised? Did I say horrific? We're gonna do some fun streams here soon. We'll do music. We'll do fucking around. We'll just play around on shit. We'll do some game shit. It'll be fun. And Eminem. I love M&Ms. Wait, Curiouser is at a karaoke night, and she's actually on Twitch instead. I'm confused. She must want to leave and want to come over here.
Hello everyone, I'm Lana Zach. Former President Donald Trump.
You can come smoke.
Testimony in his New York criminal trial. You may recall this case is related to allegations that he falsified business documents to cover up hush money payments to an adult film actor during his 2016 run for office. Trump is facing 34 felony counts. He's denying all charges. His longtime friend and the former head of the National Enquirer, David Pecker.
Oh, yeah, we get some Taylor Swift later in the show.
Attempted to squash stories before they became public.
This man is David Pecker, the former head of the National Enquirer.
I want to bring back in now CBS News national correspondent Errol Barnett. He's there outside of the courthouse in Manhattan. So, Errol, since we last spoke, David Pecker has discussed Stormy Daniels specifically. What did he have to say?
When you bring me food.
Lana, I've just stepped outside the courtroom as David Pecker continues his very specific testimony now as it relates to Karen McDougal. And what we're seeing is the connective glue between Donald Trump and the mistresses in this arrangement, the alleged mistresses, I should say. What David Pecker just explained was that after an agreement was hatched that Karen McDougal's story would be paid for in order to kill it, he was invited to the White House in early 2018 for what Donald Trump described as a thank you dinner.
I'll pay for it. You can be Uber Eats.
Associates. He noted that Jared Kushner and that Sean Spicer were in the Oval Office when he was there, at which point Donald Trump walked him from the Oval Office along the Rose Garden to a dining area where Donald Trump asked
buy her dinner too.
Interestingly enough, the prosecution then showed a black and white image of Trump and Pecker walking along the Rose Garden to back up.
Wait a minute. When I was a boy, did I acquire a beautiful woman like this Carrot McDougal? It's an interesting. When I was a boy, not when I was a boy. No.
You live in sexual anarchy?
I mean, I've dated sex workers and strippers, and I don't know how to. Not when I was a boy. Did I acquire with a beautiful woman? All women are beautiful. I did indeed get into some sexual anarchy.
You live in sexual anarchy?
Trump just shoots his bridges. I'm done with it. I can't. Imagine if it was Biden.
Come on, man.
I am not a homosexual or a transsexual, no. But I do suck a little dick.
Wait to have your cock in my mouth. I'm going to give you the blowjob of your life. Then I want you inside of me.
Taco Bell, what's up? I mean, I answered honestly. I don't know what you want from me. I'm skipping all the Trump shit. We're done with it. I'm not doing it. I don't give a shit about this dude dying. Here you go. New Jersey Representative Donald Payne dies at age 65. We don't need to watch 2 minutes about what the fuck he's talking about. We don't care. Here we go. A state senator in Minnesota broke into someone's house.
Newly filed court documents are shedding light on what led up to the arrest of 49-year-old Nicole Mitchell, a Democratic Minnesota state senator of District 47, earlier yesterday morning. Mitchell had her initial court appearance via Zoom in Becker County this morning, and that
Gidiox, most people are a little gay. Even if you don't actively suck dick, you think about sucking a little dick.
That's where we find Valley News Team's Gabriel Osler. Gabe, what can you tell us?
Yeah, Tatum, just as you said, Miss Mitchell made her appearance.
Sir, okay, here's the thing. If you have to come in here and tell us that you're heterosexual, you have thought about sucking dick. There is no way around it. You have absolutely thought about sucking dick. And if you would do it, you might just do it once or twice, and you'd be like, all right, that's enough dick sucking for me. I just wanted to try it out. There's nothing wrong with that. I think a lot of people are that way. They just experiment a little bit. You would feel a million times better if you got a friend of yours that you felt close with, and you'd be like, hey, will you let me suck your dick? Tell me when I'm telling lies.
Yeah, Tatum, just as you said, Miss Mitchell made her appearance.
That might be the problem. He doesn't have a suck buddy.
Outside the jail, where she is expected to depart very shortly. The hearing was fairly straightforward. A lot of was made about the fact that Mitchell has no criminal record whatsoever, and this very much seems to be sort of a one-off incident. So unconditional bail was set at $40,000, but conditional bail was completely free and came with very lax conditions in general, just sort of the expectation that she stays in contact with her attorney, follows up on court dates, and she is also allowed to travel to Cass County without any supervision because of the family connections that she has. We've spoken before about how Mitchell is from Fargo. She mentioned having relatives in Moorhead, so unconditional access to Cass County was one of the things that the judge readily agreed to. Now, her next hearing in this case is going to be June 10th. In the meantime, like I said, she's going to be in contact with her attorney, Bruce Ringstrom, if I'm not mistaken. I've seen him coming in and out of this door a few times. I expect Mitchell to be coming out at some time soon. But all the things that we know about the court documents, about how she was allegedly trying to get some of her dead father's personal effects from her stepmother, who was not in contact with her, that is all going to be resolved around that June 10 date. In the meantime, we're sitting out here waiting to see when she emerges and what the next steps are in this overall process. Tatum, back to you.
Thank you so much for that live update, Gabe.
She's pretty hidden in there right now. Come on.
Uh-oh, is this an animal?
Galena is a little timid.
She's a hider.
It's a game she plays.
Yeah.
And she has a guilty...
Don't worry, it's not the end of the show.
In boxes. It's just like
it's just auto-played.
But it took her a little too far from home.
That was the worst part. We just had no idea what happened.
2 weeks ago, Galena vanished.
Oh.
Mysteriously disappeared. We had absolutely no idea what happened to her.
Carrie and Matt Clark spent hours looking for a sign of their beloved cat.
We put tons of flyers up. We contacted friends and family to help us search.
What a sweet baby.
But when it seemed all was lost.
And then we got the most amazing, insane news in the entire world.
A phone call. Galena's microchip was detected 650 miles away near Riverside, California.
I just couldn't even believe that she was in California. I thought it was a prank. Like, I still hard to wrap my brain around.
Turns out, Galena made her way to California via Amazon.
She was trapped in an Amazon package.
The Clarks were returning some shoes in this box.
And it was in this really big-sized Amazon package.
Galena managed to go undetected.
We had no idea, so Matt took her to took the package to the drop-off without knowing that our dear cat was inside.
Oh my God!
Amazon employee Brandy, who took her under her care until the family could be reunited.
And we are so thankful for Brandy and for everything that she did for our kitty.
Galena went 6 days without food or water in the box. The Clarks say her recovery has been nothing short of miraculous.
Like, it was just the best, because I know that under other circumstances that she wouldn't have been found. We're just so happy to have her again. Oh my goodness.
I would have drove to California to get the kitty. Like, I would have been there. I would have been there as quickly as possible. There's no shipping my cat back. Oh, that would have made a great story for the end of the show, though. But I got something good. I got something good for the end of the show. But long before we get there, we got, murder and cop death and a lot of good shit to talk about. Here is an accused killer apparently captured in West Virginia earlier today.
Come here! There was nowhere for him to go.
An accused double murderer tries to hide, but deputies tried harder, capturing him during an unrelenting manhunt.
It's kind of scary. This is just a country neighborhood.
Tonight, 8 on Your Side team coverage. What we've learned about the woman and young child who lost their lives and the man accused of killing them, leaving behind a gruesome crime scene.
This murderer will now face the full weight of the criminal justice system.
Good evening, I'm Stacey Scheibel.
And I'm Keith Kate. Thank you for joining.
That dude has skeletons in his closet.
Joining us tonight, that double murder happened yesterday at a home on Sumner Road in Dover.
Well, I probably should have hit the content warning.
Strawberry Farm on Glen Harwell Road, about 2 miles from the crime scene. Investigators say the murder was gruesome. A woman found lying in a pool of her own blood in the backyard. A young child was found dead inside the home. Both had been stabbed to death.
Tonight, we have 8 on Your Side team coverage. Jeff Patterson with the latest on the murders and the victims. Stacey DeSilva covering the manhunt that terrified those nearby neighborhoods. We're going to begin tonight with Jeff.
Good evening, Stacey and Keith. People in this neighborhood.
I think it's a pretty rural area.
By what happened here last night. The family of the victim tells us that her accused killer has beaten her before and that he threatened them if they told authorities about it.
Give me your hands now! You better show them to me now!
This is the moment Hillsborough County Sheriff's deputies and canine teams captured their suspect, Angel Gabriel Kuzchak.
This murderer will now face the full weight of the criminal justice.
I do not like this dude.
24 hours earlier, Sheriff Chad Chronister says the suspect brutally murdered his 36-year-old girlfriend and her 4-year-old daughter.
Last night was so gruesome, I stood here and said that...
He's got a heart on right now.
It was that gruesome. We now know that he stabbed these 2 victims.
Jacob Glover lives next door to where the crime happened and believes he heard the moment friends of the victim found her body.
My wife went to go get the phone about 4:30, and I heard a scream.
Family members of the victim have identified her as Amelia Cook and say she came here 7 months ago from Guatemala. They say the suspect has beaten her before.
A man called me and told me to tell my sister to come back to him because if she doesn't, there will be consequences. He said it's not the first time I've killed people. I've already killed people in Guatemala.
Sheriff Chronister says the victim was romantically involved with the suspect, but...
Wait, did he come up from Guatemala to kill her?
...that he is not related to the 4-year-old girl he is also accused of killing.
He has no connection with that 5-year-old. We thought last night that was his daughter. We've learned that that's not the case.
Now people who live on the street are trying to process what happened here.
It's devastating. I mean, it's sad, but what can we do?
A quick note, you may have heard the sheriff say that the little girl was 5. They have since updated us after learning that she is in fact 4 years old. Stacey?
Jeff, we know the suspect, the mother, and the child, they all did come from Guatemala. Do we know how they entered the country?
Well, the sheriff says that they are working with the Department of Homeland Security on that they do know that, in fact, the accused killer here entered this country illegally. They are still trying to work out all of the facts.
Oh, the Republicans are going to run with this.
All right, Jeff Patterson live in Dover. Thank you.
Oh, there's a lot of people that care. They're going to make a big fucking deal. It'll be on Fox News tomorrow morning. If you have a distaste for the crime stories, give us about 10 minutes. Maybe 15, because these next ones are pretty brutal. A lot of sexual assault as well. Content warning. And to keep it in content, once again, I thrive on doing shit like manhunt footage and stuff. I love that shit. Eat it up. That's my kind of story. I was a journalist. I like reporting on crime stories. I understand it's slightly sensationalist. Fucking Curiouser needs to be put in horny jail over here. An arrest has been made in the beating death of a trans woman in Miami Beach.
Also now at 11, we now know the person killed outside the Miami City Ballet was a transgender woman. She was beaten to death while sleeping on the streets.
Police say the suspected attacker used a metal pipe. Tonight, he is behind bars. And tonight,
fuck that dude.
Stepfather plus advocates who want more than justice.
CBS News Miami's Larry Seward is in Miami Beach with their reaction.
Wait, did he say Larry SeaWorld? Did he say Larry SeaWorld?
More than justice.
CBS News Miami's Larry Seward is in Miami Beach with their reaction.
For Edward Summers, it's hard because
I remember Rotten and Live Leak.
37-year-old Andrea Dos Paso mingled with people at Prideline's LGBTQ plus community center almost daily until a security guard found her dead, beaten with a metal pipe to her face while sleeping outside Miami City Ballet Tuesday morning. Within hours, police arrested 53-year-old Gregory Gibe. He's charged with second-degree murder.
It is a nightmare what became reality.
Victor Van Gilst is Dos Paso's stepfather. He says Andrea struggled with mental illness, spent time in a halfway house, and felt best living on the street. Her violent death drew concerns from state lawmakers over the welfare of people.
She was adorable.
Florida House Representative Fabian Basabe, who represents Miami Beach, pointed out a new law that bans homeless camps but gives cities state funds to set up areas for food, water, and shelter. In a statement, Basabe called the attack a terrible crime that took a life and should not have happened. He added, now a law and order city, Miami Beach still has only half the needed police force on the
street. Law and order city
remains difficult and extensive. Do not place yourselves in a situation of present danger. You are vulnerable without shelter, but have a choice to take it. So please use these resources for safety, to eat and to sleep and to rest. We are here for you, but Prideline's leadership wants more.
If I'm a person that may be identifying as a gay male, right, I may not feel safe in the shelter because I have to deal with fending for myself because I'm a gay male and people are picking on me. We've dealt with individuals who have been in shelters who are attacked because of their gender identity or because of their sexual orientation, right? So there's safety issues. There's so many issues.
Purgatorius, the other day I flipped the fuck out. Florida is ranked 33rd in crime, or 34th, something like that. I was amazed it was that far down. We hear of these crazy Florida man stories and shit, but like, they're in the bottom half of the country for crime, so wow, which also didn't match up for me because like one of the things you learn in statistics is like the higher the temperature, the more like crime and murders go up. Like they'll tell you like when ice cream sales go up, murders go up. But that's an example of correlation not equaling causation because it's just people are outside more, they're associating more. If they're being abhorrent, you can boot them.
What this track
you guys are itching.
Caused attention is the fact that we don't have sufficient resources to house our homeless population, our housing insecure population.
This city's police chief says his LGBTQIA plus liaison is constantly communicating with community leaders, and also they're talking with the state attorney's office to make sure this crime is prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. In Miami Beach, Larry Seward, CBS News, Miami.
Larry Seward. Like she was adorable. God, that sucks. Let's go to what the fuck state is this? I don't even know what state this is in. It's out west somewhere. I think Colorado. This is a Denver news station, so I think we're out in Colorado. Jury is deliberating. the fate of a deputy who shot and killed a driver.
We are now 10 hours into jury deliberations for a former Clear Creek County deputy who shot and killed a young man. The jury still hasn't decided if Andrew Buin should be held criminally responsible.
Now, there were several police body cameras recording that night when Buin did shoot and kill Christian Glass. It was June of 2022. The question for the jury, though, is whether his actions that night were excessive and unreasonable. 9 News reporter Steve Steger has been covering this case from the very beginning and is live with us from Clear Creek County with the latest. Steve?
Yeah, Tom, we actually just got word from the court that the jury will require another day of deliberations. They are going to go until 4:45 today and they'll be back tomorrow. This jury has been incredibly thorough throughout this trial, taking very copious notes all throughout the testimony. They even asked a lot of questions of the witnesses on the stand, and they will now help write the final chapter in a nearly 2-year-long story that has dramatically changed a family's life and this county. The day after Andrew Buin shot and killed Christian Glass in June of 2022, his former employer put out a one-page press release. They said the man who had been shot was argumentative, armed himself with a knife, and officers had tried to bring the situation to a peaceful resolution. 3 months later, we learned what really happened.
He had done nothing wrong.
Yep.
Just too scared to get out of his car.
9 News was the first station to show you the body camera video that showed Glass.
I knew, like I described this earlier. I was correct. It was this Australian kid. He was scared to death by the cops doing this to him for no reason.
To show you the body camera video that showed Glass had called 911 for help.
In a vehicle, my vehicle got stuck.
And Buin badgered him.
I will break the window. Step out of the car.
To get out of his car for the better part of an hour, refusing to let Christian throw the knives he had in the car out the window.
No, do not throw them out. Do not touch them. Do not reach for them.
Then Buin broke the window. When a frightened Glass picked up a knife, Buin shot him with beanbag rounds, tased him. Then when Glass made a motion toward a fellow officer, Buin fired 5 shots, killing Glass, the only officer on scene who fired.
He trusted the police to come and help him. Instead, they attacked and killed him.
A couple of months later,
how in the fuck does he not get convicted?
Gould. A Clear Creek County grand jury indicted Andrew Buin with second-degree murder and his supervisor, Kyle Gould, with criminally negligent homicide. In May of last year, Christian's parents, Simon and Sally Glass, won the largest police misconduct settlement in state history, $19 million.
We want to begin to start celebrating his life.
It includes some non-economic terms, like establishing a mental health response team in Clear Creek County. It also required an apology from the agencies involved. Clear Creek County Sheriff at the time wrote that his officers, quote, failed to meet expectations on the call.
The board does not believe that the sheriff has adequately accepted responsibility.
The lackluster apology led his fellow elected leaders to call him out and for Sheriff Rick Albers to suddenly retire. Clear Creek County hired a reformer to fill the rest of his term. In November, Buin's supervisor Gould pleaded guilty to a lesser charge, failure to intervene. And the day after he agreed to give up his police certification, the DA in Clear Creek County charged the 6 other officers on scene that night with the same.
Good.
Their cases are still pending, like the fate of the deputy who pulled the trigger as a jury continues to deliberate. What's very interesting is that throughout this 10 hours now of deliberations, the jury has not come out of the jury room to ask a question, which is a typical thing.
Hell yeah, woke token.
Deliberations in cases like
got a naranja.
Meet with the
what is up, my friend?
Behind closed doors twice today. Buin was in the room for both of those meetings. Unclear what they were talking about at the time. We do know the jury will return to the courtroom here at 4:45, where the judge will remind them they're not to talk about this case to anyone when they go home until they come back here tomorrow morning and begin their jury
sorry. Well, let me pack a new one. I'll do it again.
Outside the Clear Creek County Courthouse, Steve Steger, 9 News.
No, Steve, there's so.
You like how I hit that like a champ? I need something to drink. I'm out of tea. Did you see that? I hit it like a fucking champ. I've had bronchitis. I've not been able to hit the bong. Like a chump. Like a chump. Why would you listen to anything else? Hold on. I gotta pack a new one. I don't have the countdown. It's not the... clinically, I'm sorry. I'm going to have to get back on top of knowing when the ads play and shit. Because I like to play them all at once so nobody has to, miss anything. I'll get back to doing an actual, structured show. That bowl is hot as fuck. What command do you need? Your mod, make a command. Everybody ready? Okay, you tell me when. Ready? You give me like a count from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Whose emotes are those? I like that pot leaf. I've had a hard time getting certain pot emotes through on Twitch. Are they being... Oh, hell yeah, thank you for being a freaking follower. Ranja. I'm gonna call you Ranja, is that cool? I'm glad and you've got a kitten as your avatar. That makes me really happy. I'm very much a cat guy. Do you want to see a kitty? This is Smokey Bong. Fortunately, he does not like the marijuana. Do I have a void? I don't know what that means. Black cat? Is that what you're asking? Ah, I have a tuxedo. You might see the tuxedo. This is Socrates right here on the couch. He is a handsome feller. Got his socks on. Nathan, you might really enjoy it. I'm sure Curiouser thought she was too old. Is that mean of me to say that? But like she got on the Twitch and she really enjoys it. Kitten mittens, you'll be smitten. You will really enjoy the... You can trust my cats. My cats are awesome. I enjoy being on the Twitch. It's fun to be on Twitch when, I'm not streaming. I spend a lot of time in Echoplex. I've been trying to go around and say hi to people I've missed out on. Had a lot of people I haven't seen in a while. God damn it. Hold on. Gotta go to a different browser here. I tried to do a pop in on Dave tonight. No. You would really enjoy our sister channel, Echoplex Media. They do the left but weird side of Twitch. How do they describe themselves? Producer Dave does a great job. Covers cults, Scientology, conspiracy theories, the goings on at the Shasta County Board of Supervisors. I simp hard for the Echoplex Media. And you would fit in. Dave is a Gen Xer. He's not a youngin'. Media Winch is a Gen Xer. I've not consumed a lot of the Soup's content because I deactivated my. I'm not saying I was Justin Muffins. All right, we're gonna watch a Seattle teen apparently steals a woman's purse, punches her in the face. I'm gonna try to go back here. This is just a kid being an asshole. I don't know no Justin Muffins. Wait, did that woman steal her shit? I thought she was gonna go help her pick it up. Oh, wow. That's insane. I feel like all her credit cards and shit. The good shit fell out. Hoping there's money in there. Who keeps money on them these days? But once again, I'm trying to think logically. What's this dude doing? Oh, that's hilarious. I've got to see this again. I don't know that crime pays most of the time. That's
Hey man, Seattle police, stop.
not true at all.
Come over here. Come over here. You too. Come over here. Yeah, you're being detained.
Allow me to hit you with this. I did news for years. The captain, whatever the state police, the Kentucky State Police, where I was doing news at, told me they don't catch the good ones. Like, they catch all the stupid people, and most of the people in the country are stupid. Cops don't catch the smart criminals, and that's true.
Right here? Alright. What did I do? So you're under arrest for robbery now. Robbery? Yeah.
I mean, we're all animals. Oh shit, he tried to run! That's some balls.
I'm on the ground. Oh, there you go.
Now, when I say cool, I'm just like, Smokey, you can't hit the microphone. I like watching this, I like watching cop footage and shit. I used to be a news reporter, and now I bring you guys the news. That's what's up here. We find out what that news be doing. And unfortunate news today, I can't believe I woke up to this shit. Fucking Harvey Weinstein. No, we do all news. We're gonna go into the lighter stuff here in a little bit. We're gonna do some cultural news and pop culture stuff. So like, we do politics, we do criminal justice. I try to fit some labor in. I really like labor news, but as I've explained in the past, like, you have to dig for labor news. Like, all my news aggregate sources pretty much put together the show for me. But if I want to talk to you about labor, I actually have to go looking for it, because that doesn't get covered in the mainstream media. What? Curiouser, who are you talking about? Oh. Harvey Weinstein. Yeah, I cannot believe this conviction got overturned.
Highest court has overturned Harvey Weinstein's 2020 rape conviction, a stunning reversal in the landmark case of the Me Too movement. In a 4-3 decision, the Court of Appeals said the trial judge's decision to allow witnesses to claim Weinstein assaulted them, but not include those witnesses' allegations in the charges, precluded Weinstein from having a fair trial. Weinstein's lawyers commended the court earlier today for what they called a tremendous victory for criminal defendants.
There are some people who are very unpopular in our society, but we still have to apply the law fairly to them. And in this courthouse behind us at that trial, the law was not applied fairly to Harvey Weinstein.
Weinstein is currently being held in an upstate New York prison. For more on what this reversal means for him and why the case unfolded as it did, I'm joined by Jodi Kantor, New York Times investigative reporter who broke the story of Mr. Weinstein's sex crimes. So Jodi, you and your colleague Megan Twohey, of course, broke that story back in 2017. No one has followed it more closely. Did today's decision surprise you?
No, this has been brewing for a long time. You know, from the start, Megan and I were never really sure how Harvey Weinstein would be treated by the criminal justice system. Because when we think of the allegations against him, there are so many. Those women could fill an entire courtroom by themselves. But a lot of them weren't eligible to stand at the center of a New York trial. A lot of the allegations were about sexual harassment, which is not a crime, or they
He's not getting out.
statute of limitations, or they didn't take place in New York. So the New York trial was only about 2 women, both of whom had had consensual sex with Weinstein, in addition to the very upsetting acts that they described. That can be very messy for juries. So prosecutors brought in additional witnesses.
I don't know the details, but apparently this journalist feels like it should have been overturned. So I understand from a legal perspective, but also fuck Harvey Weinstein.
To sort of bolster their case, but the complaint against them was always the classic kind of criminal law complaint saying the facts presented in that courtroom.
Yeah, they're going to retry him in this case.
To the charges in the trial. And that, in fact, is the basis on which the conviction was overturned.
Well, after your initial reporting, more than 100 women came forward with similar allegations of sexual assault or harassment by Weinstein. Today, one of those survivors, actress and activist Ashley Judd, reacted to the news today.
This today is an act of institutional betrayal. And our institutions betray survivors of male sexual violence. I stand shoulder to shoulder with women who have bloody knees, because male sexual violence may knock us down, but we get right back up.
Jodi, have you heard this similar sentiment from other survivors?
You know, I called Ashley today when I first heard the news, and I was actually the one to share it with her. And she found it disappointing and upsetting, but she was also unwavering. And she said, we know what really happened. And yes, I've heard similar sentiments from Weinstein's alleged victims today. And I think a special upset for the women who stood up and went through the difficulty of a criminal trial and provided that extra testimony.
But a Freudian slip.
Now wiped away. But interestingly, I should tell you, some of the strongest objections were from some of the appellate judges. This was a very split group of judges who had a very painful debate. The majority only won by 1 vote, and some of the judges who were in the minority basically protested and said, what are you doing? You're naive. You're disregarding the progress we've made in learning how to prosecute sex crimes.
Jodi, what does this mean for Weinstein himself? As we mentioned, he's still imprisoned in upstate New York. What do we know about his health and about his future based on this decision?
Well, he is not a free man because remember, he was also convicted in Los Angeles. So soon he's going to be moved to California to start serving out that sentence. Meanwhile, that conviction is being appealed by his lawyers next month on the same basis that the New York case was overturned. They're going to complain about these additional witnesses. Whether it will matter, I don't know. California law is a little clearer and firmer on the use of those witnesses, but I should tell you that the lawyer litigating that case is the same attorney who was able to get Bill Cosby's conviction thrown out.
Jody, in New York, meanwhile, the district attorney's office has said they will attempt to retry the case.
How do you sleep at night being the lawyer that gets 6 piss off? Like, what the fuck?
Less than the minute we have left. What's the timeline ahead look like for that?
It's confusing, and it's a tough decision, I think, for them, because the case is so culturally important and means so much to so many people that to leave it alone, to let it stand here, would be very unsatisfying. But to try to go back to the beginning and do this again and get those women to tell those painful stories in court, I'm not exactly sure what's going to be
clinically, you're right.
That is New York Times investigative reporter Jody Cantor, who broke the story of Harvey Weinstein's sex crimes back in 2017. Jody.
Thank you, Jody. We appreciate it. Remember a few weeks ago when a ship hit a support beam on a bridge in Baltimore and brought it down? The first ships sailed out of the Baltimore port earlier today. Why'd I blank on the word port? Sailed out of the Baltimore port earlier today.
A major milestone was achieved on the Patapsco River today. The first commercial vessels left the port of Baltimore since the collapse of the Key Bridge.
But things are far from being back to normal. The limited access channel will close in a few days now, so crews can keep working.
WJZ is live at 5. Tara Lynch is in your corner with the details.
It was totally DEI.
Will be open and the impact it is having on the port.
Cancel me.
Woke moralists.
Nikki and Rick, we had the opportunity to be one of the first to go through that channel this afternoon, and it is just so surreal to see not only the dolly but also how narrow this section is and how large the vessels are that have to traverse through it. So lots of really intricate detail going into all of these ships leaving, but the good news is ships are coming in and out of the port of Baltimore.
He's good.
While a monumental milestone, it's not over yet.
Several vessels took to the sea after 4 weeks of being moored at the port after the Key Bridge collapse. The fourth channel is a 35-foot deep and 300-foot wide section of the federal channel. WJZ was on board with the Army Corps of Engineers passing through the newly cleared channel.
The patience, the perseverance, the determination that they had to be able to do this, to keep us on track, on schedule, but doing it safely.
Tugboats, pilots, and other officials are guiding these ships in and out of the channel, making safety a top priority.
We have a narrow channel, so we have tug escorts going through. We have a pilot on the dolly. We also have tugs on standby next to the dolly. So there's a lot of
tugs.
The first 2 ships to pass through were on their way to Canada. A car carrier bound for Georgia was the
You
third
live in
to embark.
sexual anarchy?
It was also the largest ship to use the channel at 789 feet long. All reports say this ship movement is safe and hasn't interrupted the task at hand.
The report from the pilot on board and the salvage master was that very little movement, not much more than when you move a container on deck.
While this section of the Fort McHenry Channel is open, the Army Corps of Engineers is planning, getting ready to remove a 5,000-ton section of the bridge that sits on the dolly.
Listen, the older I get, the more I'm convinced that, like, pussy just ain't worth it. It is not worth the effort that I need to put in to get it. Snicks, good evening. How are you? Would you like to join us on Twitch? I do believe you have an account. We are back. What was I talking about? Oh, I don't know. The bridge.
It's very intricate because
I've thought about it. I love Matt Bender. I want to talk to him about wrestling. He and I are both wrestling fans. Oh, but you knew that.
Sitting there, there's a lot of pressure and tension, stored energy inside those members that are laying in the water because of how the collapse occurred.
Really important to remember that this limited access channel is only open through the weekend. So we are expecting a few more ships that have been stuck here since March.
I love everybody on Leftist Mafia. I don't think I would be chaos. Like, fucking, that's my people. If I watch any, like, content creators, it's pretty much those people in that circle. I absolutely love Olay. Fucking Lance from the Surfs has been super cool to me. Matt Bender, I want, like, fucking excellent producer, host.
To depart, we're also expecting some.
Olay was on the fucking Breakfast Club roasting Eric.
Or else they will be stuck here until May.
Eric Adams. Almost called him Eric Young, but that's a wrestler. Olay quit. Olay quit the Leftist Mafia? They didn't have like a falling out or anything, did they? Yeah, I don't watch other like leftist content really. Like I do watch the Majority Report because like who doesn't? I usually watch it. Snicks! So good to see you on the Twitch. I'm so happy to be back on Twitch because we get randos coming in here again. We'll get raids from people and there'll be all kinds of shit happening. Sam is the Silver Fox and Emma is awesome. I appreciate that she'll like tell people to stop talking about sports because I don't know shit about sports. But I appreciate that there's a leftist out there that does talk about sports because that is something that's needed. She's a good reporter. I like her. I would love to. I have a great idea for a wrestling podcast. I should get in touch with Bender about it. I would totally do that. I've pitched it to my boy, but he's not a broadcaster. I think he would be okay with me pitching it to somebody who is a broadcaster. And Bender might fucking eat up that idea. I'd totally do a podcast with Bender. He's probably just... you're right, Nathan. There needs to be more leftist gun education. And that used to be a strong leftist value in this country. And it is completely dissipated. I wholeheartedly agree with that. As well as, yeah, you just missed it. That was the story right before the bridge story. I think it made everybody in the chat very angry. Glad to do my part. Not only gun education, but also conservation, hunting, fishing. That is a space that the left is sorely needed in. Now that's not my thing, but somebody should step up and do it. Wholeheartedly agree, 100%. Hell yeah, Venus. Throwing out the Maynard lyrics on me. That really makes me think of, I saw them, yes, hell yeah, the John Brown Gun Club. How active are they? Thread? Click on it. Okie coming. Come on, on, buddy. You can't, like, keep hitting the microphone. You're not good at this. You're not good at being a co-host. Cat ass. Oh, don't sit on my lighter. He'll get up when I hit the bong. I'm not seeing but I guess if they're not active in your local area, you should get in touch and start a. Want me to come play Fallout 76? I haven't even started yet. There's probably like a little prologue I have to play by myself. I'll have to do that, get all set up, and create my character and all that good shit. Oh, Venus, are you gonna play? Are you gonna play some Fallout with us? You know, one of the things that you might see in Fallout, you very well might see like bloody horses just running around. You know, I don't know if I ever saw bloody horses in Fallout. A bad transition. Here's some bloody horses. Yeah, fuck indeed. I don't know. We're gonna have to read the story. This happened in London. Blood-covered horses run amok in central London. Several people have been injured after the household cavalry lost control of their animals in the center of the city. Several military horses were caught after going on a rampage in London. This happened yesterday. This happened earlier yesterday. The incident occurred on Wednesday morning at 8:40 a.m. local time in the center of the British capital. 5 horses belonging to the household cavalry were apparently spooked by noise coming from a construction site during their daily morning exercise on Horse Guards Parade in Whitehall. I have no clue what any of that means. According to the Daily Mail, a total of 5 people were injured during the nearly 2-hour-long rampage that spanned almost 10 kilometers through central London. Of the 4 people who have been hospitalized, 3 are believed to be soldiers. None of the people who were hurt are reported to have sustained any life-threatening injuries, so that's good. One eyewitness recalled seeing one of the riders screaming in pain after he fell off his steed as it struck a car near the Claremont Hotel on Buckingham Palace Road. Nay, I say. I saw a soldier falling down into the street after the horse ran into a car, the witness told the Telegraph. The man hit the floor hard. He was screaming in pain. You could see blood all over the parked car. So apparently that's how the horse became bloodied. Photos and videos shared online show one of the horses ramming into a double-decker bus and smashing its windshield. Holy shit.
Olha aqui, galera de Três Barras. Tinha 4 cavalos.
Well, they've calmed that one down.
Aqui estavam soltos e bateram no ônibus aí, ó. Olha aí.
Oh, it's already rammed into the windshield.
Meu Deus do céu.
He's got a headache now.
Olha só, cara. Que dó do bichinho, né?
Oh, poor baby.
Eles escaparam. É cavalo da realeza. Olha ali, cara. Olha o povo. Esse é gente da rua aí que tá cuidando do cavalo até chegar o... Foi chamada a polícia. Olha aí o cavalão, ó. E aqueles cavalos da...
Pretty horse. Your joke was funny. I don't feel the need to read everybody's joke. Mr. Ed, more like Mr. Bled. Oh, ads. I'm sorry. Bloody horses. I will get the ads in line so that like they're all played at the same time like I used to. I gotta get back on that dumb bitch juice. Just let me know when everybody's back, and then we'll move on to the next bullshit. Which is total bullshit. We're in the bullshit part of the show now. You know, if we're pulling out Bill Maher, we're in the bullshit part of the show. No way! I want to... No, that's Green Acres, isn't it? Something, a horse called Mr. Ed. But that was Mr. Ed, right? Like, I'm fucking... Goddamn. I haven't seen an episode of Mr. Ed in... at least 20 years. Like, Nick at Night in... God, did they quit... They quit showing it. Like, by the time you get into, like, the late 90s and early 2000s, they quit showing shit like Mr. Ed, and they were up to, like, fucking, like, late 70s shit, maybe even 80s shows they were showing. I'm having memory berries about Nick at Night. Mr. Ed was back in its like heyday, and it played Green Acres, and it had like Get Smart, and it had Dragnet, Dick Van Dyke. That was the good shit. I like old television. I actually like. I have like the Dick Van Dyke collection, or whatever's on DVD. Watched a lot of I Love Lucy and Andy Griffith. Ooh, you guys, we had such a fun time doing Thanksgiving specials over on Kick. That was a lot of fun. I'll get to do television specials again. I never watched a lot of Lassie. Then over at my grandmother's, I watched a lot of like crime dramas. It was like Murder, She Wrote, Diagnosis Murder. It was Quincy, MD, fucking The Equalizer. I loved The Equalizer. That was good shit. Speaking of old, washed-up television, Bill Maher. Bill Maher has a stupid-ass podcast. He apparently had Brett Kirshner on, and Brett Kirshner has a woke daughter.
My daughter came with me. My 18-year-old daughter is like woke as fuck. I mean, that's that generation. Of course. Comedy is the villain, and her dad is the fucking Joker. Like to joke about Elliot Page is sacrilege. That's what she wrote in her thing. The jokes are what upsets me. You go, well, that's kind of.
Why would you joke? Why would you joke about Elliot Page? I refer to that one comedian. It was like, oh yeah, like, you know who hasn't had a good comeuppance? The trans community. Like what? Like why would you target Elliot Page? Why would you want to joke about that? That doesn't make sense to me.
Kind of the business I'm in that paid for this house, that paid for this.
Fair enough, Drake. Did use his name? What's the opposite of a dead name? I'm really drawing a blank tonight. Maybe I'm too high.
So I bring George on the road, and she watches these Dave Attell. Dave Attell was like fucking right, and I watch her and her best friend Daisy go like this, like, and they're laughing, but they're covering their face. I said, I saw you laughing at that trans joke about ... And George goes, Dad, hold on. the way he says it, it's different. It's not, he's not, it's like he surprises you with the thing, and I go, yeah, it's called fucking comedy.
Exactly.
That's what we do, baby.
And the reason why it's so great.
David Tell probably is out here fucking a lot of trans women, has respect for them, and isn't punching down with his joke, and you don't get that.
Is because laughter is involuntary. So
stop it.
So when you laugh,
but not at trans people's expense.
You perhaps resisted believing,
yeah.
But it's like sort of trumping you. It's jumping. It's going around the gatekeeper.
Yeah,
and these kids do need deprogramming.
And I'll give you a good trans joke. Never believe a trans woman when she brought you over to play a board game. It is not a euphemism for sex. She is actually inviting you over to play a board game for 6, 7, 8, maybe 9 hours.
And your daughter needs deprogramming.
She left Joey Diaz. Now, Joey Diaz, I don't know if you're familiar with Joey Diaz.
Sure.
But Joey Diaz has lived a few blocks from us. My daughters actually only know him as Uncle Joey.
Wow.
In like legit Uncle Joey.
Right.
She watched Joey Diaz. Joey Diaz goes hard in the fucking paint. Okay.
Right.
Like he's
fucking hilarious.
Got him in trouble in the 90s. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
And to watch my wife cry laughing, and to watch that, and then my daughter Georgia goes, "Is this what Joey Diaz says?" And I go, "Yeah." She goes, "Uncle Joey, this is." She's like, "Dad, it's fucking hilarious." I went, "Yeah, that's the whole point. Is that?" And I watch these guys. Mark Normand, murderer. Shane Gillis, dude, murderer. All these guys, Big Jokers and Nikki Taylor, all these guys are murderers. But they're saying this shit to 12,000 people in a minor league stadium that you're not supposed to say into a microphone, definitely.
Right.
And people are losing their fucking minds. And I go, well, as long as these 12,000 people keep showing up.
Well, so there's no cancel culture. There's no wokeness. There's no, like, you're even saying, like, your daughter found them funny and appreciated the craft, but she's woke. I don't understand his grievance here. This really is just old men yelling at clouds.
I wouldn't worry about the Sharks.
But I wouldn't try that in San Francisco.
There are parts of the country where you like.
Yeah. No, it would just absolutely would not.
Yeah.
I mean, not that there aren't 12,000 people in San Francisco, especially lately, that San Francisco is reminding the country that, yeah, we're not as crazy as you think.
I think Bill Maher is fucking crazy. I am anti blue balls. I am pro kicking authority in the balls.
He's kicking authority in the balls.
Yeah, all these people that were canceled miraculously have, Grammys and sold out shows and shit. Would have ever thunk it. I don't know why I had to do this. This is why I didn't play more Piers Morgan earlier in the show, because there's just this little dose of Piers Morgan here at the end of the show. He had our good buddy who once called me a formidable voice in the culture.
JustinFREAKIN is a formidable voice in the culture.
AC Real. Piers Morgan had Matt Walsh on to debate the merits of Taylor Swift. And I just want to point out that neither of these men are anywhere near as talented. I'm not even that big of a Taylor Swift fan. Neither of these men have a fraction of the talent that Taylor Swift has.
Leave us with Taylor Swift. I'm a self-acclaimed Swiftie. I think she's an extraordinarily successful and dynamic young woman. But she's
Can't argue that.
She's not married. She's not had kids yet. She's incredibly influential to millions of young girls, including my own 12-year-old daughter. Her brand of feminism, as articulated through her albums, is, I don't know, I mean, how would you categorize it? I would say that she's incredibly honest, searingly honest on occasion. Yes, she does whack ex-boyfriends, but they kind of know what they're getting into, I think, at this stage, if they get into a relationship with Taylor Swift, because she writes about everything in her life. But also she whacks herself. She's very self-critical. This is not somebody putting themselves on
whacks herself?
a peerless pedestal. So how do you view her brand of feminism?
Well, I will. First of all, I'll confess I'm not exactly a Taylor Swift scholar, although I do understand they're doing college courses on Taylor Swift now in universities across America. So there are going to be Taylor Swift scholars. I'm not
She
one of
is
them.
now bigger. She's now bigger than the Beatles. I was told by a great record company legend in LA very recently that she now is a bigger cash generator, even pro rata, than the Beatles at the height of their power, which is quite extraordinary.
That is extraordinary. She's obviously, certainly these days, she's the most famous, one of the most famous people in the world, period, and the most powerful and influential pop star by a mile. What I think about her, what I've always thought about her, and I understand in her latest album that just came out there,
Kelly,
talking on Twitter about how she goes further in kind of the left-wing territory.
Yeah, the irony of two men telling you about a woman's feminism. They got mansplained it to everybody.
Than she has in the past. I don't know about that because I haven't read the lyrics. But generally, I think that of all the different, there are many pop stars that are far more objectionable than her.
Yeah.
Far more vulgar and objectionable. I think for the most part, what you get from Taylor Swift, it's not good, don't get me wrong. It's just kind of vapid and shallow and silly. That's most of what you get.
There is some of that to it.
The most
I kind of agree with both of them.
Is that she's, I think now, 34 years old. She's a 34-year-old woman still singing about her, basically high school level relationship problems. So this appears to be a
That's okay.
Who hasn't grown up much and hasn't grown as a person.
Yeah, Drake, that's it.
In fact, I think one thing
his critique is true, but it would apply to any other pop song. So
I did see on Twitter is that on her latest album, she actually has a song called So High School or something like that, and where she's actually directly comparing her current relationships to, being in high school. And so
could be because she's trying to relate to her audience, which is predominantly younger. So like, kind of, they can feel like the music is speaking to them. Like she knows who her audience is. She's writing pop songs for mass consumption.
This is someone in kind of a state of arrested development. And I think that there are a lot of people in the West who struggle with that same condition. So she's not a positive influence.
Clearly good at it.
You see, I sort of disagree with that because I think that...
Well, I'll also go into like youth and being young. That is a common theme in a lot of pop music because like it resonates with the people that it's supposed to resonate with. Like... fucking what was the song by Fun in the mid 2000s? Like we're young and we set the world on fire, blah blah blah. Like it's just like it's a common thread throughout music. So idiot.
All great singer-songwriters, the ones who write...
It's almost like right-wingers are morons.
That stuff tends to come...
Where's it at?
The negative stuff in their life. I remember Phil Collins, for example. He used to famously write amazing stuff when he was heartbroken. And whenever he was happy, it was never as good. And I don't see her as any different or any better.
Eminem was better when he was on drugs. I don't know about it. Was there a period that Taylor was on drugs? I'll evaluate like what I think of her. I don't know enough about her to know her different periods. See, we're doing music on this show. Everybody got me off on music. Let's talk a little Coachella. Apparently, Lana Del Rey hit with a $28,000 fine. Lana Del Rey went late. Coachella Weekend 2 wrapped up on a low note, financially speaking, as the music festival. Oh, the festival is facing a $28,000 fine over Lana Del Rey's set. A rep for the city of Indio, where Coachella takes place, tells TMZ the singer's show went over 13 minutes on Friday night. Might not sound like that bad of an infraction, but it's enough to trigger a hefty fine. Now, this is apparently the guest spot by Camila Cabello, which caused the set to go late. Which is which is wild to me because I feel like there's not any Lana Del Rey song that requires any of that. Lana Del Rey definitely not participating in any of that. It's her new single. I love it. Apparently, Lana Del Rey just let her have the stage for some reason during her performance. We're told this is the only fine from the music festival's 2 weekends, so overall the Coachella organizers probably see this as a win. The $28,000 is a huge difference from last year's curfew violations, which resulted in $117,000 in fines. But here's the thing, is like Lana Del Rey got yanked off stage at Glastonbury last year. We watched the video of them pulling her off the stage. I can tell you who else was at Coachella. It was Grimes. I'm getting ready to show you that here in a second. Similarly, I can't say that. I can't say regularly. I have certain words I can't say, and those are two of them. Similarly, I don't think that's Seal. Similarly, in 2022, the festival's 2 weekends plus 1 weekend of Stagecoach resulted in the city handing out $61,000 in fines. That's Billie Eilish, isn't it? No, that's not Billie Eilish. I don't know any of these people. This is Limpo Arachis. This is Shakira. Peso Pluma. The Beths. I'm really out of touch, aren't I? Or am I out of touch with bougie music? Everything Always. Little Uzi Vert. The Impetress. Faye Webster. Sabrina Carpenter. Was the highlights of day one. They're not telling me. They're not telling me who people are. Is that like I Spice or something? That's No Doubt. I'm apparently one of the old ones now. I can't believe it. Will Smith showed up. I would not be excited for that. Rich Basic Bitch Summer. That's what I don't think I'm out of touch. I think this is just a shitty festival. She was alright on the shit I've heard her, because like she's done like shit with Cardi and stuff. I think. Definitely done some stuff with What I Say, DJ Dub. I've heard the Aquabats before. Now, if you were unaware, Grimes was at the Coachella Festival, and she apparently had a disastrous set. She can't do math.
You take your 33 and a third chance minus my 25% chance, and you got an 8 and a third chance of winning.
Now, as I understand it, basically they were playing her music at double the tempo, and it wasn't a big deal, and any real DJ would have been able to handle it in real time. But she's not a real DJ? I always thought she had talent, but maybe I was wrong? But someone made a little song based off of her disastrous performance. This is Grimes. This is Elon Musk's baby mama.
one times I want to say in the classic Grimes fashion. This is very hard to explain because it's a complex technology, but everything has been put to a double tempo. I'm doing a lot of internal math in my mind to make the tracks go together. Then my mind, 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 then my mind. I love drum and bass. My mind, 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 my mind. Double tempos.
Oh yeah, this was excellent.
In classic Grimes fashion.
Okay. Before I did Killing Them Softly.
Oh, fuck you, Dave Chappelle. Grimace popped up right at the end. Classic Grimes fashion. Yeah, the person who did that, that's an actual DJ. I like Grimes music. This is what makes me sad. Does he pick on Grimes, or does he actually have Grimes on? Because that's wild if he has Grimes on. Okay, like, she is... The people paid an insane... Like, those tickets are probably $1,000 at least. More. So, it's absurd that an artist who has been heralded as like a groundbreaking producer... And whose sound really was copied a lot in the mid, like, 20-aughts. Guess I'll have to go check out R.M. Brown and find out for myself. I don't consume a lot of people's content because I don't want to, like... I don't want to inadvertently, like, take people's opinions from them. What do you think about a dolphin giving kisses to a cat? I try to stay oblivious to everything like news related other than being on here with you guys. I'm not a pre-watch Andy. I don't know what's going on. I find out what that news be doing with you all. I like it that way. He's like, the cat's totally like fucking loving on the dolphin. This is totally sweet. Dolphins are sexual predators? I always thought that I would be able to take Smokey out like that. But it turns out Smokey goes fucking feral when he goes outside. Cat singing huge tuna. Oh, there's so many of them. Is this at like a fucking SeaWorld or something? Like, are they in captivity? Maynard takes baths with me. Well, I had a harness for him and I would take him out, but he does not know how to act. Remember, he went missing for 8 days. It's about to be the fucking Vatican. Oh my God. Were you saying that dolphin's gonna rape that cat? You telling me that's a horny dolphin? It sees pussy. Does the dolphin's mouth smell like fish? I don't know. I've never met a dolphin. I've never asked them about their sexual proclivities. Where's the sexual anarchy?
You live in sexual anarchy?
Bad Dolphin, you go to horny jail. All right, since we're back on Twitch, it's a Friday Night Freak Show tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Eastern. What is that? 7 specific. We'll see if I can wake up, or if I can stay up. I might crash producer Dave later tonight. Let me see who's on. I can't believe I can like raid people on Twitch again. This is fucking cool. We got so many cool people on here. Jason's at We'll Raid Jason Society. Perfect. I don't even know where it's at anymore. Raid channel. There we go. And then we might do we'll do a fucking around stream over the weekend. We'll do music and stuff. Now that we're back on Twitch, baby. If you are on the Twitch, you're gonna head on over to Jason Society. We'll smoke a little bit, take a dab with him. Go ahead, light one up, tip one back. It's alright to have a little fun before you hit the sack. I'm JustinFREAKIN. We'll see you tomorrow night on the Friday Night Freak Show.